Hello, Randy. I've been grinding off stream, man. I've been grinding off stream. Good morning. I need 455 more. Or 65. Give me more animals to hunt. Oh, there we go. Why is there no audio? What do you mean I'm talking right now and my mic works? Do you mean like on Woowa? It's probably just low, no? Or is there like, is audio not working at all for Woowa? Wait, you're right. My game audio doesn't work at all for some reason. Huh. That's kind of weird. Oh, there you go. You guys should be able to hear it now. Is that better? For some reason, it was connected to my monitor and not my headset.
Let's not linger. Your life is mine to take.
Um, I don't think I need that much more. Probably like one more fight. If you turn into a girl, then do it with a dude. Are you gay or straight? Straight, probably. I mean, your body would obviously just be biologically different, so can't do anything about it.
Let's not linger.
At that point, you're basically like a tomboy.
Taboo. If you insist. Can you keep up?
Hello, Tommy. Is elation shit or okay? Now that I'm completely confident that Sparksy will end up being a sub DPS, I think elation is going to be broken. It depends on the character, Randy. You have to look that up yourself on Pride Win. in the calculation section of a character. Sequences differ from characters. Some are really strong, others are weak, others are average.
Let's not linger.
I don't want to fight Havatia. Alright, where is it? Why can't I mark this? The fuck? What do you think about the 3.1 banners? How bad is it? What do you mean how bad is it? It's fine. They're all solid banners. Kind of laggy. So, thanks.
You may keep it.
Can I get this early, please? Pretty please? No? One pull? Yeah, it's crazy, right? How the fuck do I get to this platform phase, man? Like, explain that. I literally... Bro. Is there like something I'm missing? I'm missing this? This is the last thing? I got to the platform phase so easily on my other account. I don't know how I'm struggling on this one. Or why it's taking so long. Oh, it's a quest. Okay. They put a meth full team in phase 1 that's greedy. Huh? No. I mean, like, they do this all the time. Like, why would I... You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the first few times it's worthy of making a video on, like, the triple back-to-back best in slot. But, like, that's just normal at this point for, like, all these games. They like rerunning characters at a really convenient time. Yeah, but Lupa isn't best in slot, and neither is Chisa for the Toon Break team. Like, you can maybe make the argument like Chisa rerun. That's basically the only valid one. Until she gets her Fusion Burst sub DPS. Another free 5-star. Let's go, man. Oh. Four-star. Nice. I think this is an early one. Nice. I love that. Give me coral. Give me coral. More coral. Yes. Scrumptious. People are still blaming Hoyo for the spending event. I mean, they're just retarded, man. Don't bother with it. I'm literally getting recommended videos from people saying, oh, all these other things people are complaining about. Yeah, let's completely ignore that because they're just, Doom posters. And let's talk about the few good things talked about in the live stream. Like Sun. like it's fine to not want to, like, you don't care about the spending event or some shit, right? But like, brother, we saw the live stream, man. There just wasn't that much to talk about.
Your life is mine to take.
He's like, no one's talking about the story. Like, how the fuck is anyone supposed to judge the story? Like, hello? Yeah, let me judge the story off of a fucking live stream that gives the smallest bit of a teaser. Instead of complaining about the elephant in the room. You know that meme that's like the elephant address me? Like, that's legit a lot of these creators.
You may keep it.
Ryuku Sensei is the only decent Wuwa CC. I think Rin is pretty good too, but like, Rin is just a general gacha CC at this point. He really be giving anything a try, which is really nice. You have like Rin, Pharaohs. I think Pharaohs is still for sure up there. Like, even though he goes pretty hard on the Hoyo shit, he went just as hard on the recent Wuwa spending event. So it's not like he has double standards. He just prefers Wuwa more than Hoyo games, which is like understandable. I can't blame the guy. So Pharaohs is still a very good CC. I mean, it's whatever, guys. It's whatever. There's always gonna be people who they prefer tribalism. They want toxic positivity. They don't want to have genuine discussion that makes their game not look perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let those people stay in their lane at this point. Like, if they're mainly strictly Wuwa CCs, and they don't go out of their way to talk about other games, but they're this tribalistic, I'd say it's semi-okay. It's passable, right? It's just their favorite game. They love making content on it. They love playing it. At least they aren't slandering other games. I think the only time, like, getting, frustrated with, like, a CC when it comes to this shit makes any type of sense is if they are someone who is very disingenuous when it comes to comparing other games. What's going on right now? Nothing. Off stream, I've been farming on Wua for like 2 hours. And I think I've farmed like nearly 10 limited pulls at this point. And some standard pulls as well. Some map exploration, stuff like that.
Your life is mine to take. Can you keep up? Let's not linger.
How's it going, Gabby? Going pretty good, Uni. Going pretty good. I'm getting a lot of the map done on this account. A lot of it. Oh, this is almost 100%. But yeah, this is how the Lahai Roy map looks so far. Not bad, not bad. I don't really want to talk about the Tectone shit. But yes, apparently he got like kicked out of like something called Mythical something. But like it's already been in the work for a long ass time. It's just that now they announced it.
Onward.
Oh. Wouldn't be surprised if Wua does another spending event on the Annie. I mean, that'd be I'm not gonna lie, that'd be insanity. Like, I don't think they do that. I'm just, like, I'm not even gonna try and do post that. It's so unlikely. A spending event in 3.1, then a spending event in 3.3 on the Annie, and then there's a collab in 3.4. I don't think they'd go that far. Did Chisa finally get a best in slot DPS? Nope.
Let's not linger.
At least not for now. What about spending event on 3.3 and 3.4? Nah, Uni. I can't. I can't imagine them being that fucking greedy. Dude, they just added a new weekly. Like, for low spenders, they added a new weekly. There's no way, man. Like, this game already has, like... Well, actually, no, because I play Bleach Soul Resonance. It's a lie to say I haven't seen that many bundles in another game. But, like, they've added so many fucking bundles and, like, subscriptions at this point. This game is, like, so monetized. They're even doing, like, bike skins now. That cost, like, up to 25 USD. I forgot about that. The problem with spending events and okay, here's my problem, right? I understand spending events, of course.
Let's
Like,
not
you know, I guess give some whales some freebies. But it's like at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? Because whales are gonna spend no matter what. It doesn't make a difference if there's freebies or not. Whales will always spend, right? So, in my opinion, the main reason spending events exist isn't to actually like like say thank you to the whales, right? I think I've had a similar conversation to this before. The Archer Lycone, yes, people were trying to tell me the Archer Lycone pull event was to thank people for saving their pulls for that thing. No, I refuse to believe that, and it's the same scenario here. The entire point of a spending event is to incentivize people who don't usually spend often or at all to maybe think this is an absolutely amazing time to go in for it, in my opinion. I don't think it's just to say thank you, whales. I don't think that.
Your life is mine to take. The fear insists.
How possible is free Sparksy? 0% chance. The transducers are so bad, I wish they weren't real. Dude, I never thought I'd live in a day and age where some Hoyo games can do something better than Wuwa. Like, it's actually insanity. Like, you know what's hilarious? When Genshin added their half-assed, artifact loadouts, I remember watching either a Glaive video or like a Sane video. And one of the main points they were trying to drive home back then was that in Hoyo, old QOL that's ever added to the game will be half-assed. And the players never get real QOL. And then the entirety of the comments was like parroting this and being like, oh, these Hoyo shills, they'll eat up the slop. And then this live stream introduces transducers that are only obtainable through Afterglow Coral or money, but at the same time caps the targeted Echo merge to 10 a week. So both of the QOLs added in this patch are half-assed. Both of them. Also, I want to add, I originally didn't know. Okay, so if you do buy transducers, right? If you do, for whatever reason, spend 30 coral on transducers when they're here, there's a cap of 2. And after you get those 2, it costs 60 coral. Bro, 60? Are you... Oh my fucking... I couldn't believe it, man. I genuinely couldn't believe it. I watched Ryuku Sensei's video today, and I just now... Bro. Yeah, for sure, Uni. Like, yesterday I was talking about it on stream. I keep in mind, I have been asking for even more self-modeling resin income in HSR, right? But in HSR, you get up to 3 self-modeling resin from Anomaly Arbitration. You get 2 in the Battle Pass free-to-play. You can craft 2 every single patch. And you get self-modeling resin through the resetting modes of Divergent Universe and Currency Wars. And you get 1 self-modeling resin from the MOC shop every single patch. So if you max out everything as a free-to-play, you can nearly get 3 variable dice. But if you can't do that, you can basically always guarantee 2 as a free-to-play. Even if you don't include Anomaly Arbitration shit, right? You get 2 from Battle Pass. You get 2 crafted, 1 from MOC Endgame, and then you can get like another one pretty easily, right? You just need maybe 3 stars in AA. So you can get 2 variable dice, and in HSR, with 4 self-modeling resin, you can craft a double crit piece, or like 2 stats on anything you want, right? So there's also that. This game doesn't have that. Would you want 100 pulls or 10 variable dice? Obviously 100 pulls. What? There's no point in min-maxing echoes on my accounts where I go for insane vertical investment. So like, you know, I'm not exactly struggling E0 player trying to hit some speed threshold. Yeah, you can also get self-modeling resin in events pretty often. That's true. It's pretty realistic to say you can get 2 variable dice every patch. Transducers are shit. I'd rather just roll new echoes. Yeah, exactly. Like, that shit is so expensive, dude. Like, no offense. I think everybody's keeping their afterglow coral. Even if you're a whale. Like, you have to be, I don't know, dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? And I'm not exact. Like, why would a whale pick up the transducers over using the coral from their pulls on sequences for future characters, right? Like, maybe a select few, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a whale and I ain't buying a single one with corals. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just way too expensive. And keep in mind, it's not even a selector, right? Like, for example, as mentioned earlier, if you have 4 self-modeling resin in HSR, you can craft a piece and choose 2 specific substats that you want on that piece, right? This selector is like the variable dice. You can't select anything. There's still a chance. Let's say you purchase 1. You re-roll like a defense percent. And you end up getting flat defense. Like, you know what I'm saying? I also thought it was a selector. Like, I think it's still on my the title of my video when I first made the video, because I was watching the live stream, right? I have it as selector on the thing because I thought you could select things. I thought you could choose specific substats you didn't like, and then you could roll them into substats you did like. But no, it's like complete RNG. It's like the variable dice. If the transducers were as common as the main stat selector, it would be good. Oh, 100%. I agree. If they just treated it the same as the main stat selectors, then it would have been better. Basically, the only thing I'm excited for at this point during the new patch is like the new maps and the QOL to the bike, which is unfortunate. I don't think the pull count is going to be that high. I made a community post on it. People are okay. I had people in my comments saying that I'm making an assumption that the 5 maps will be similar to Fabricatorium of the Deep, because they think we're actually getting like a Septimont level expansion 1 patch after we just got that with Lahai Roi. Like, that shit ain't happening, right? It's way more likely 5 maps mean similar to Fabricatorium of the Deep. And Fro's patch had the lowest pull count in the history of this game. So, what I've commonly seen watching a few videos from creators who try to defend this shit is go, oh, the free-to-plays are relishing in the pulls, right? The casual player base, they're relishing in the pulls. And then these losers aren't talking about the pull count without even knowing the base pull count of the patch, right? So in my opinion, it's likely this patch has an average amount of pulls at 100. That's my guess. And then if you can hit the veteran event that gives you the 10 limited pull at 7,500 points, you probably get 110. It's still not bad. I'm not saying those pulls are bad, but people are overhyping the patches pulls probably way too fucking much. And I'd be glad if I was wrong, because more pulls, let me guarantee that Galbrena, buddy. Let me guarantee that Galbrena. If I'm wrong, hey, I'll be fucking happy if I'm wrong. Give me 120, 130 pulls. No, I'm counting the 1600 gems. I'm counting the 1600 here. It should be about 100 pulls, maybe a little more. Yeah, especially because it's been leaked by Iris that 3.2 would be a solo character patch of Sigrika. Like, at least solo limited character. So if this is the case, they're likely gonna reduce the pulls in 3.2 for sure. Don't know by how much though. Oh, chest. Wuwa should give less pulls. Free-to-plays are ruining the game. We should gatekeep.
Can you keep up?
What is this weak level of rage bait, man? Rip S6 Gal? What do you mean? I'm still going for S6 Galbrena. What? I never said otherwise. I'm pretty sure that was Genazad Uni. The 7 out of 10 meme. When he got like flamed for saying the Wuwa story was mid, in his opinion. Or just not the greatest thing. I don't have Mornai, but I do have Lene. Should I pull for Ameth or Luke? I'm gonna be honest, they're kind of both the same without Mornai. Like, from if I remember correctly, Luke with Lene SK and Ameth with Lene SK, like they're damn near like it 1-to-1. So I'd say just go for whoever you like more. Is Wuwa good right now? I ain't played in a few months. I mean, I like Wuwa. But, yeah, I'd say give it a shot. Give it another try. Listen, it depends on how much you care about story. In my opinion, the story in this game is a little questionable. But outside of that, as a base game, I love this bike so much, dude. I love it so much. I think it's worth getting back into and experiencing Lahairoi. Just delete Wuwa and play Arknights. We don't need toxicity in a Wuwa community. How is it toxic to call out a game on its faults? Isn't it the opposite when like you try to shut down other people's opinions because you prefer toxic positivity? I know you're probably rage baiting, but like, just in case. Like, if we think about it, the thing that has caused the most drama in the Wuwa CC space is creators who are tribalistic attacking people openly giving their honest opinions instead of sugarcoating shit. That's unironically led to like the most amount of drama. Oh, okay, it's full rage bait. It's full rage bait. Chisa is the most peak story. Oh my god. uh, I love my chat, man. I wouldn't trade this chat for anything else. Toxic negativity does exist too. In my opinion, it is better to have a fan base of people who are incredibly critical of a predatory gacha game as compared to incredibly positive. Like, this is the thing with HSR. Even though Doom posting can get out of hand, and I'll make my own videos talking about it here and there, because HSR has the fan base it does, there is like no drama. Toxic positivity is barely a thing. People are able to like wake up, be honest, recognize things, and nobody gets attacked. Right? Like, I prefer HSR's community over WooWa's toxic positivity 100% of the time. Because, like, for example, right now, if I were to go to like a Wuthering Waves subreddit and someone posted about struggling to clear with older characters, there will be an insane amount of comments. There will barely be any upvotes, and half the comments will be saying skill issue. If I go to an HSR Reddit and someone's saying they have issues clearing, most of the comments, unless they're using like characters that from 3.x with Eidolons, are gonna be like, yeah, dude, the power creep and HP inflation, like, it's pretty fucking bad. Do this, do this, do that. Hope this helps you. uh, Half the comments. I mean, I'm trying to be, I don't want to sound too doomy, Uni. And I hope you guys don't think like, because there might be new viewers from that video. It kind of banged 10K. I hope you guys don't think I only hold Woo to like, these standards of a game. Like, I already have a video on it and I've talked about it on stream. I really badly want HSR on their 3rd anniversary to start addressing their banner issues. Either with like a guaranteed light cone system, capturing radiance. I mean, both of these games need that shit at this point. Maybe implementing ZZZ system of guaranteed rerun characters. Like, I'd fucking take anything at this point. The banner system needs to be improved. You have to wait a little longer until we have accurate poll counts, likely, um, in chat. One Piece lover. We know that you have constructive criticism about old games you play. Yeah, but like, some of these people come from watching the tribalistic Wua CCs, thinking that like I give special treatment to HSR, and they have zero clue of my most popular video on my channel, and they have zero clue I came up from HSR from making videos about how shit its HP inflation and power creep was. Like, people just see one video or like another CC react to me, come here, and then start saying shit. So, kind of need to clarify. Those were the days, man. Calling out I think it was the first introduction of the TV boss, and it having like 6 or 7, oh my god, like 6 or 7 million HP, which was like an insane spike. You stream on Twitch? Nope. Have you played any Ninja Gaiden game before? Nope. I'm a gacha shill. Yeah, that's fine, Nelka. Me personally, I'm already like knowledgeable enough on HSR and it's so goddamn convenient. There's basically no point in me quitting it. Like even when it's boring, it's like who cares? Because the pulls in HSR are so easy to attain. Barely any of it is an actual exploration. Like you do an event, you actually no. There's currently two big events, right? Two big events. You can probably finish them within about an hour or two, and then that you've gotten most of the pulls in the entirety of the patch. Like you just do the weekly resetting shit in endgame and you're good basically.
Let's not linger.
We need more men in Wua? Not happening. Half the comments in the Wua live stream were just male character slander. And people saying delete male characters. Like, that shit was crazy. Okay, half is an over exaggeration, I'll admit, but it was frequent in there, man. Disappointed to see Star Rail struggles to have 200 viewers on Twitch. I mean, it makes sense. Like, they're just the Star Rail out of like Genshin and like Wuwa. Like, these are open world games. It's way easier to make content on them that isn't repetitive. But when it comes to something like HSR, it's a different story. It just gets repetitive so quick. Most people will just watch Zero Cycle clears on YouTube from the Sweat players, or they'll watch me, you know, for my, you know, predictions for beta, talking about leaks and stuff. What was at 800 right now? Not much better. I mean, yeah, it just is what it is. And keep in mind, this is like 3.0. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure HSR will probably hit 800 too when they hit the new region in 4.0. 3.8 is just a dead patch. Hello, tactician. Also, low key, like, is that YouTube or Twitch? I feel like HSR content creators love streaming on YouTube more lately because of the better split. Because I think YouTube is 70-30 if you get donations, but Twitch is still 50-50 unless you get a special contract. You're thinking of Expedition 33 if you're... What? Yeah, exactly, tracking. Yeah, all of them. That's actually a pretty solid way to put it. I hate Twitch so many ads. Yeah, you guys shouldn't get any ads for my streams. My streams are unmonetized. So you shouldn't get any ads, hopefully. If you are getting ads on my streams, I legit don't know how. No ads? Sparksy is second phase. There's no confirmation for rerun banners though. I'm a day one WUA player. I don't play anymore. My device can't handle it. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Hopefully they work on optimization at some point. HSR lets you remove a pretty significant amount. I don't know about Genshin because like it's probably better to compare to Genshin. I don't know if Genshin has lowering space stuff. I genuinely forgot about the second half story in 3.0. Yeah, I forgot about it too, but then I did it for the Asterite. It does, though. Genshin's 30 gigs. Damn, that's not that bad. Isn't... I think WUWA, even if you cut it down, is like 48, 49, right? And it's probably going to become even more after this patch. I feel like mobile users are going to be phased with the way it's going for WUWA. No, I 100% agree. I for sure agree. I've been like... I've talked about this on stream multiple times at this point. I don't know what WUWA is thinking with adding so many region expansions, because it's like, yeah, you're adding more content, I guess, for the PC player base, and obviously, like, I fuck with that. I have a 2 terabyte SSD. Okay, I can just delete my older videos for making videos or recordings and free up the space, so I don't have an issue with space. But like, mobile is such a huge part of gacha games revenues, and you're just fucking inflating the space like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I imagine already a 64 gigabyte phone just can't run WUWA unless they have fucking nothing on their phone, right? A 128 is probably getting pushed currently for a lot of people. Enfield, I'm able to run on 120 FPS. Well, actually, I don't know about the space. I never checked Enfield space. I'm just going to assume maybe like 40, 50 gigs. But for the graphics, and it ran on 120 easily. Easily. Oh my god. The thing I hate the most about WUA's settings, they will never, like, they don't give you the option to go on 120 yourself, right? Like, look over here. I can't go to 120. They restrict it depending on device hardware instead of just giving the player the freedom to choose themselves. So I'm stuck on 60. Arknights put on 120. Shit barely dipped, if ever. Super clean. Can you even tell the difference between 60 and 120? Yes. Brother, I play Fortnite on 240 FPS. You think I can't tell the difference between 60 and 120? It is so bad playing on 60 FPS, man. I'm not a PC guy. I was just asking. Oh, my bad, my bad. I thought you were like being sarcastic. Dude, this used to be like a real conversation that console players would bring up like half a decade ago of like the human eye can barely even see past 60 FPS. So everything is it's like a delusion, right? It ain't real. You can tell the difference till 240. You can tell the difference beyond that. I actually watched a video on this, I think like a couple months ago. At the point where, like, for how long the human eye can tell a difference is about like 600 to 700 FPS slash hertz. Like, if you do increments of increasing by 100 to 120 FPS, the human eye will be able to tell the difference up till that much. And then after that, they still can, but it's so minuscule it doesn't really matter. Wua wasn't even 30 gigabyte on mobile just 6 months ago. Yeah, it's because of some big additions. I mean, it is what it is. This game's probably gonna hit like 70 gigs on mobile by next year. Actually, probably more. That's like an understatement. And on PC, it would be about 150. Right now, actually, let me check. Let me check how much Woo is taking up right now for me. Woo is taking up 120 gigs for me. Oh, I still have Enfield downloaded. Yeah, Enfield is only 44 gigs. Okay, so I could just see it there. Yeah, raid leader. It's like
Let's not linger.
yeah, the old events aren't worth it, Uni. Because the old events get their limited time rewards taken off. So it's like on some events, you're investing like 1 hour plus for like 3 pulls. Shit's kind of trash. Some of them can even be like 2 or 3 hours. Like I think Wo's one. How much do you think the next Glacio DPS will power creep Carlotta? That's probably the Annie character. 50%. 50% is a safe estimate. Because, like, Luke and Ameth, you can round out. They're probably hitting 2.2. Because Ameth, because of 2 ruptures once in a while. And then Luke when he maxes out his shit. So they're both at 2.2. Carlotta is like 1.6. She probably got buffed with Lene, so maybe 1.7. But like 1.6, 50% of that is 800k added on top 2.4. So I'm assuming any character will do like 2.4 mil. That's a pretty safe estimate. Pretty safe. Oh, chest.
If you insist.
I don't think.
Let's not.
Okay, I could see. I don't think Wuwa will go like a crazy power creep route. I really don't. But if they make it like something that really hurts older characters' ability to clear endgame, I imagine it being a shilling issue, right? Like they add more debuffs, or they shield a newer character even more, continue the HP inflation, and that hurts teams that aren't the newest team or the one being shielded a ton. If there's any route they'd go in terms of like increasing endgame difficulty, I see it that way, and not so much the power creep one. Like there is power creep, but it just isn't significant enough right now to really be like, yeah, it's the power creep why older characters are struggling to clear. A lot of it is just teammate shilling, and as well as, well, teams getting debuffed and other teams getting massively buffed. Do you think they'll stop making glacial res enemies when the next glacial DPS releases? Yeah. They'll stop for like a couple patches and then they'll put it after. Like after like 2 or 3 patches, they just bring back the glacial res to make her not feel as good anymore and incentivize people to pull the new character. If Step Leaks' roadmap is correct, after 3 patches from the Annie should be another Senrez who's Electro. So if it's correct, right, and surprisingly, I mean, it's kind of 50-50 whether or not we're getting Glacio or whatever other rover, right? But if that rover thing ends up being in Step's favor, then that roadmap has way better credibility than it already had. The middle tower, yeah, the big floors, the big boy floors of middle tower that got added after the rework. I can understand that. They are for sure way more difficult. I remember when they first came out, people were trying to justify in my comments the difficulty increase and say that it was equal with the extra 30 seconds they give. Like, fuck off, dude. Those extra 30 seconds did not make up for how much more difficult it was at all. Yeah, Elka, that is nice. I've talked about it before, but whether for better or for worse, there are so many cases in HSR where learning how to play against the enemy correctly vastly changes the outcome of a run. But in Wuwa, none of the enemies really like shill anything. Like they can maybe have more annoying flight or like some specific res, but you just do your normal rotations with your characters like you always would. Mr. Gabimaru's Luke Sanhua sweaty gameplay enough for me to skip his dedicated sub DPS? Well, it depends. Um, well, for one, you don't even need to do sweaty Sanhua gameplay to probably make him usable for endgame, right? Uh, even 1-2-3 Sanhua is like pretty solid currently, but I don't think it's confirmed whether or not double intro Sanhua fully works with Luke. But if it does, then yes, for sure. Like it jumps up the DPR significantly. It puts someone around like 2.x DPS level if double intro Sanhua actually works well. Do you think this Electro Sentinel will be Electro negative status? Yes. 100%. 100%. I don't have any doubt on it. It is such a trend at this point for Wua to make their most anticipated like characters negative status. Like we had Zanny, we had Cart, then we had Chisa, who was probably the most hyped from the entire drip market. And Chisa has something in her kit about like Electro Rage for an Electro negative status character. So, and now we have Ameth, right? Like Ameth, oh, 6-star tacit mark, Senrez equivalent. What will she be? Negative status. So, incredibly likely that the next Senrez is the same.
Let's not linger.
Jesus, my voice went out. I'm not gonna lie. This might be a little doomy to a lot of you. I've heard a similar situation has started to happen in PGR. And I think it'll be the same in this game, okay? Don't kill me for this opinion. I think at some point, years, multiple years, maybe even half a decade into this game's lifespan, they will start scaling endgame content because the power creep isn't as big on characters having dupes. If you're an average player, I think they'll eventually do that. Because the reality is the HP inflation and the endgame difficulty increases they've been doing the last half year, and then you look at the power creep in return, it doesn't match. Not even fucking close. Like, HP inflation has increased exponentially, but character strength hasn't, which is like, so if they continue this trend, instead of us having a problem of power creep, it's that new characters are kind of underpowered, and you need to make up for it by going into sequences. I thought Wua HP is fine. It is fine. But like if you compare current Wua endgame difficulty to legit just half a year ago, it is an astronomical difference. Like, dude, Rin put in a shit ton of work to get his world record of clearing TOA on a new account in Wua, right? Big ups to him. If he tried doing that challenge again with the same luck and same care, he wouldn't even come close to clearing. He wouldn't come close to clearing Wua. He wouldn't come close to clearing TOA. And he wouldn't come close to full clearing Double Pawns Matrix. The difficulty increase is insanity. He said now it would take him like a month. Yeah. What was the record before? Like a few days or like a week? Like it would take way longer because you just have to build so many more characters and plan that shit out better. There's also going to be an issue that we will also eventually face, which is side towers. Nobody takes TOA side towers seriously because they aren't that strong. But if you think about it for a little bit, once these side towers get significant levels of HP inflation after, let's say, a year from now, it'll be normalized to use limited teams to tackle the 4th floor side towers, right? Because they are getting HP inflation even if it is slow. So TOA requiring as many teams as it does would now come back to bite people in the ass, because it's not just the middle towers. The side towers also get their difficulty increased, meaning you probably want to use limited teams against the fourth floor. There's a lot of nuance when it comes to Wua's endgame. But at the same time, this isn't me saying, like, it'd be impossible for free-to-plays to clear. Absolutely not. Please don't get it twisted. Like, it'll probably be an HSR situation where, like, giga casual players will think the game is, like, dead-ass impossible for free-to-plays. Impossible to keep up. But for, like, anyone semi-competent, the endgame will still be very clearable and very easy. And sequences will still be a luxury. Like, that's just the reality. Sweat Zanny has over a minute left at middle tower, fourth floor. That's not needing to sweat to even clear. Yeah. The only thing that's a little worrisome is HP inflation at the end of the day. Like right now, they have no issue. But if, let's say, a year down the line, middle tower gets a total of like, what, 50% more HP inflation, then now like a, what is it, like a Sweat Zanny, she'd probably have like 20 seconds left, maybe. And let's be honest, Uni, like, okay, if we're using average players as the standard, they're already getting filtered right now. Like, listen, I'm not saying we should hold these people to the standard of endgame content difficulty, but like, I already see so many people complaining about Wua's current endgame difficulty. And they're using like 2.x teams as well. What is the HP inflation right now? Weewa has gotten way more than 100% HP inflation, I think. Like way more within the last half year to around that ballpark. TOA, it depends. If you don't count the 2 new TOA floors as HP inflation, I'd say maybe around 30 to 40%. But if you do count the 2 new floors as HP inflation for the entire middle tower, it's astronomical. It's like more than double, probably. And then you have Double Pawns Matrix. Zanny herself filters a lot of people. Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I'm getting Galbraina, Uni. I'm too brain dead. So I pick up Glob. I hear so many people praise her for how brain dead she is. And you did too, I'm pretty sure, so. You know, that's a perfect character for me. Is S2 more nigh best in slot, third slot in the Zanny team, or is it still Spectro Rover? If you're a casual player, I'd assume S2 more nigh would be better. But if you are a sweat player, I think Spectro Rover is still better. Like if you do the quick swap and shit with like 4 Nightfalls and stuff. Zanny's rotation isn't that hard though. How are you struggling? you need to understand that the standard for something being difficult in a gacha game is basically this person didn't put really any effort past maybe like a few minutes of trying into learning something. That's kind of the standard with the, like, if the player base collectively spent even just a day learning how to play Zanny optimally, the amount of Zanny slander that currently exists would just disappear. But like, the average gacha player doesn't want to put in any time at all to learn anything about their teams and how to play them most optimally. So that's kind of how it goes. It's the same thing in HSR. Like, we still have people in the big 26 in HSR, like, using the wrong relic loadouts, not hitting speed thresholds, basically having no clue how to play their team or character in the slightest. And then they're like, dude, like, fuck, man, like, I can't clear. Like, this shit's impossible. I have heard that, user. I have heard that. I have heard that. I've heard a few people at this point say that playing Gion as optimally as possible is the most difficult to them. I mean, Tactician, if you just look at, like, the ceiling of a DPS, Zanny has had it since her release at like 2.3, 2.4 million damage per rotation. So, like, you need to understand just how insane that is, right? At least for WUA standards. Playing Zanny to her ceiling makes it so that even today, right? Even today in version 3, we're getting a Sen res equivalent with Ameth. A Zanny played at her ceiling is stronger than every DPS in the game. And the only one who can compete is a cart in her ceiling, I'm pretty sure. So it's like back and forth between those two. Now, I will say, I think Ameth, when she gets her full negative status team, will obviously be stronger, and this will no longer be the case. And she will probably be able to achieve that performance with an average player handling her, which has a lot of value to a lot of people. Right? It's like the Carlotta argument all over again. No power creep in my gacha game? It depends how you see it, right? I'd say a very good comparison of this is probably Fei Xiao. It's probably the best comparison you can make to Zanny. If you are a high ceiling Fei Xiao player and you know what you're doing with Moze, she is dead ass better than like multiple 3.x DPSs. And especially some of these 3.x characters without their best in slot teammates, which is incredibly valuable because Fei Xiao just uses fucking free 4 stars and a Robin, right? But if you aren't a high ceiling Fei Xiao player, if you're an average Fei Xiao player, they're gonna fucking struggle like hell against endgame. Like, I've seen average Fei Xiao players. They are not doing the hottest. Four stars Robin and RNG, yeah. I mean, that's just rumors, user. There's absolutely nothing to imply that the negative status team would be just for AoE and not increasing damage. I just don't think that's enough, personally. I don't think making the negative status team do the same damage is enough to make people want to pull such a niche team for her, in my opinion. I think they will take some liberties with making her stronger and giving her a better ceiling. Could be wrong, just assumptions. But like if I was trying to make money and I was in Kuro, that's exactly what I'd do. I'd make it stronger than the Tomb Raid team. Not by an astronomical amount, but by enough to entice people. When is WUA gonna add a DPS checker? WUA is never gonna add a DPS checker or a training room like so many people have hoped. Because the reality is, WUA wants the player to be bad at the game. Like, they just make more money the worse a player is, and the more enticed they feel to pull. Why would they want their like? Hey guys, here, learn how to actually play your characters so that you don't feel the need to feel as much FOMO. Like you think a gacha company wants to do that? Are you serious? Genshin only got it because of Millie Astra. Like, it was a roundabout way. They didn't even add it on purpose. So Genshin was doing the same shit. Yeah, Uni. Oh, really? It doesn't expire on swap anymore? Oh, I see something. I see something I can farm. Nice. Bleach Soul Resonance has one, which is so nice. Bleach Soul Resonance has a training room, and I've used it to learn how to play literally every DPS when they release. Too bad the game doesn't have a PC port. I came to the realization recently that being a low spender in Bleach Soul Resonance means I can guarantee a character with their weapon for eternity. I fucking love that game, man. I've seen a lot of low spenders in WUA having a majority of characters. That's unlikely. But like, even then, like even to reach that, you need better than average luck. On Bleach Soul Resonance, I have the worst luck possible. I haven't gotten a single early. I have Bankai Ichigo copy 1 with his weapon. I have Toshiro with his weapon. I have Aizen with his weapon. I have Gin with his weapon. And if I wanted to, I could also guarantee Kenpachi next, but I'm not going to get him because he fulfills a role Ichigo already does. It's not really comparable. Because if you're a low spender in WUA and you buy, let's say, monthly pass, and then at the same time you buy battle pass, your average pull income is probably 140 to 150, right? And even though that's high, that's literally just one guaranteed character. This game releases usually 2 new limited characters every patch, and they also have their weapons at the same time. But in Bleach Soul Resonance, no matter what, I can guarantee every character with their weapon. characters have the same banner time as WoW, by the way. It used to be 2 weeks, but then they made it 3 weeks. They give a lot of pulls then. It's both the pulls and the pity system. So, if you want like a reference, Bleach Soul Resonance gives like HSR pulls, which is similar to WUA but slightly less. They give like 80 to 90 plus pulls pretty consistently, but I believe this is per character banner and not per patch, right? So this is per character banner. And then on top of this, they have a guaranteed limited character at 80 pity, and they have a guaranteed weapon at 40. So the max amount of pulls you need to spend for a character plus weapon is that 120. Like, people glaze Arknights' system, but Bleach Soul Resonance system fucking shits on Arknights. It's not even close. And yes, they have pity carryover.
Let's not linger.
Enfield. Would you pull for Kratos if they did a collab with God of War? Obviously, that would be an S6. Like, no joke, that would be an S6 I save up for. Then I agree, yeah. Now, if you're completely free to play in Soul Resonance, I believe you still can guarantee every character, but you can't guarantee every character with weapon. So, it is what it is. Is it fair to compare pity systems of different gachas? Yes. It doesn't matter if the games are slightly they're still gachas. It doesn't make a difference. And if one is still being successful with said pity system, then it goes to show that another company is just being incredibly greedy by maintaining a worse one. Like, Bleach Soul Resonance made like 20 mil in their first month. And they're still making a ton because of characters like Aizen and Kenpachi and stuff. And they don't have a PC port. They don't have a console port. They don't have servers for JP. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have all of these things hindering their revenue, and they're still hitting the gacha charts with that good of a pity system.
Let's not linger.
And by the way Bleach does their shit is similar to ZZZ. Like, the combat, it's 3 character teams, and the combat is the same. They even have quick swap. You know, it's kind of like that. You have enemies that also have bullshit mechanics where you need to deal with certain shit. And then you get into a certain part where the enemy's down and they take increased damage. Bleach IP carrying it. I mean, I don't disagree. Like, obviously that gives it a ton of hype, right? A lot of people are in it for the Bleach characters. But, for example, like, I think their old game, Bleach Brave Souls. Okay, so Bleach Soul Resonance in its first month has made more than Bleach Brave Souls has made in, like, years. Combined. I'm not talking, like, one instance. Like, combined. That is how much better that game is. Now, the way Bleach Soul Resonance monetizes itself is, to be honest, similar to WUA. right? They have a stronger battle pass as compared to most of these mainstream gachas. They have a stronger monthly pass. They have multiple bundles for, you know, that the real spenders really go in for. And their web shop even has a special deal, right? If you buy from their web shop, because no longer are they getting taxed by like Apple or Google Pay, they give you a 10 pull for the character banner for $5, or a 10 pull for the weapon banner for also $5, right? Like that is really good value. So they go the route of, we will allow free to plays to still attain every character. However, we will reward the people who spend a lot more as compared to other gachas. And I think that's kind of the route they went. Holy shit, I'm just glazing Bleach Soul Resonance for like the last 15 minutes. Holy fuck. I'm actually a shill for the game. I'm sorry, guys. It just feels so good to play a game that has guaranteed on both banners, but also the pull income is like that good. Oh, how I wish Silver Palace would do that. Number one Soul Resonance shill, yeah.
Let's not linger.
I mean, that's understandable, Tactician. When it comes to gachas that already have characters people are aware of, usually what entices people are the movesets and the animations. And obviously strength. But movesets and animations. Like, for example, Aizen in Bleach Soul Resonance probably has one of the most fun gameplay in the entirety of the game. Best animations easily, which is what made a lot of people pull. That's kind of the route they go. What's the storage size of Soul Resonance? It's incredibly small. It's like 10 gigs, maybe less, I think. I can just check right now, actually. Let me see. Storage. Bleach Soul Resonance is 9 gigs. I never spend $1 on gacha games. I'll commonly spend on monthly pass. Because I do have, you know, like, I can throw $5 here and there. And it adding like an extra 27 pulls per patch is pretty significant. So, but outside of the monthly pass, very rarely I'll get battle passes, and I don't really go further than that anymore. I mean, that's fine to drop Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet is one of those games where, like, they aren't trying to keep player attention, really. They are, like, because of the way the game is shaped, it's not like a usual gacha, in my opinion. Like, you can take a break from the game for a long-ass time, come back, and then just grind super hard. It's one of the best parts of Where Winds Meet. Yeah, exactly, Loey. Yep. I'm waiting for. It's probably not going to be for a while. I'm waiting for Where Winds Meet to get the Gauntlet martial art. It only recently released on the CN version of the game like a month or two ago. But that's when I'll probably just grind the fuck out of the game because that's my favorite.
Let's not linger.
You played Dragon Ball Legends? Nope. Return during Annie? Yeah, probably. Hey, I did my fair share, okay? I did buy Battle Pass and Monthly Pass in Where Winds Meet. So, I made sure to support them at least a little bit for not having shitty got. Well, okay, they have some of the worst gacha of all time, but it's for skins, and I don't give a shit about skins. You still play ZZZ and DNA? No. Not right now, at least. I mean, yeah. The thing is, I don't even think the main person to blame is Saint. It's probably Tectone. Because, like, if we're being honest, Saint became much more popular, I'd say, about when Renacida came out. And it was because of Tectone and Saint following Tectone's way of content. That's kind of how it went. I wouldn't even say... Like, if we're talking about why this type of CC community went this way, it was because of Tectone.
Let's not linger.
Do you manage to get Yeshun Guang? I haven't logged into ZZZ in weeks at this point. I've been too focused on Wu and HSR. I'm secretly #1 Kurobot Gacha CC that actually plays the game. Well, if you go back like insanely far to some of my first videos on my channel, most of them are Wua Glaze, I'm pretty sure. I built like my first like a little over 1,000 subscribers from the Wua Glaze trend. Not because it was a trend, but because I genuinely fucked with Wua that much. But I'd say about on Zanny's Annie was when I started realizing this game isn't really all that much different in terms of predatory shit. And that's fine. Like, all gacha games are like this. I still love Wua, the combat. I fucking love the bike. I already made a video on that. Like, this game holds a special place in my heart. I've been playing it since day one. Not everything can be perfect at the end of the day. Unless your name is Bleach Soul Resonance. We just want the game we like to be better? Yeah. Like, if I had one wish, like some genie popped up, I'd make all 3 wishes, make HSR have the same pity system and pull income as Bleach Soul Resonance. And then I'd do the same thing for Wua and the same thing for ZZZ. Oh my goodness. Yes, I wasted my 3 genie wishes on 3 gacha games, okay? I'd take the sacrifice for all of you out there. #1 BSR salesman? Yes. What's Bleach Soul Resonance's pity system? Character banner is 80 pity guaranteed. Weapon banner is 40 pity guaranteed. And it does have pity carryover. I thought your three wishes would be Essex, Galbraina, Rebecca, and Sparksy. Listen, I need to be selfless, okay? I need to be selfless. Do not entice me. Weird question. What is your favorite mascot character? What, for Woowa? I mean, it's Camellia. The amount of memes from Cammy, but also, like, Cammy is already one of my favorite characters from Woowa. It's probably Cammy. I mean, I don't think that's really, I don't think that's really wrong, Tactician. Like, you can make an argument about what you think is better, which, like, obviously 99% of people would say Woowa. I don't think many people would disagree. But I do feel like just because of the way Genshin's combat system works, they don't really care about flashy animations. They do, like, a quick 1 or 2 second animation, and then you have to build up the right reactions, and that's kind of the main way you do DPS in the game. Because animations in Genshin, I'm pretty sure, aren't time stop like they are in Woowa, right? All of AMS animations, the ones that look like cutscenes, according to leakers, they all stop time, so they don't make a difference. But in Genshin, no animations stop time, which means the longer a character's animation is, the more DPS you lose. So people don't like long animations in Genshin. And I mean, the point is kind of proven of, you know, do they do this to make it better for the casual player on a worse device? Woowa is like a little over 1.5 years old, and Woowa takes up more space than Genshin. And Genshin is more than half a decade old. So that kind of answers itself. If Woowa were to be as old as Genshin, right now they'd probably be at like near the 300 gigabyte mark on PC. Sometimes I also straight up prefer less animations because fuck, I can't be asked waiting 12 years for an animation I don't care about. Yeah. Like, you can even tell this. I'd say watch a quick swap player go against like TOA or something, and then look at how much time has passed when they clear something, and then look at the video length of the actual time passed, right? Like, you'll notice there's like a 30-40% increase and the amount of time that passed in real life as compared to the game. Okay, yeah, that I agree. The fact that Durin can't fly, I saw that shit, okay? I thought that was funny. That was, yeah, for sure. The thing is, one thing that really sucks about Genshin is they do try to monetize convenient exploration behind limited characters. Like, this is 100% something I'd say is, like, open to criticism. I won't try to, like, say anything else about it. They do try selling exploration behind characters. Other than cheesing a small amount of puzzles, the exploration mechanics of characters are nothing special. Well, people just like it because of the convenience. That's basically it. It's kind of like even in WUWA, even though we have so much like exploration mechanics, the fact that Lene can like go this fast, I actually really like. I really like that she could just go this fast for a significant amount of time. And sometimes I just like going around the world with her like this. Whoops. Oh yeah, I've been saying that for a while now. I've been saying that for a while now. That it never made sense to me why WoW players constantly compare to Genshin in the first place, because they're like, oh, look at how much better our game is than Genshin, right? I'm not even saying I disagree. I wholeheartedly agree. Okay, I'll say this shit right now. I completely fucking agree. But like, they are bringing the game down and comparing it to the game constantly. That they say is like irredeemable dog shit. Which is like, why are you doing this? Well, you're setting yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Lene is annoying to run around because jump buttons just become the special attack when anything attackable is near even small animals I can barely see. Yeah, I did notice that yesterday. Lene's bike QOL is kind of nice. Huh? Lene bike QOL? What do you mean? Does she do something special on the bike? Yes. What is it? Extra energy? Lene increases bike stamina? Wait! You're telling me I could have used this for the racing challenges? There was a race challenge I had to restart twice. Because of how... Like, I was off by a few seconds and I got it the third time. I could have just used Lene instead of QU uh... Just like you can compare gotcha systems in games, I can compare animations, combat, and QOL. Well, I don't disagree, but like, Tactician, this is kind of the point I want to make. If Genshin wanted to use the exact same engine that they currently have, and their focus was to make a game like WUWA with WUWA's combat, and not their own thing, they could easily match WUWA in terms of animation quality. Like, you can just tell from the animations of Genshin characters, they're all really fucking good. They're just short as hell because they don't want to make them too long for DPS losses. If they treated Genshin combat like WUWA's, they could easily match the animation quality.
I heard something.
Now, they still would sell their fucking shitty ass exploration mechanics behind characters, probably. I don't think I'd argue against that. But the point is, they can compete with WUWA combat if they simply decided they wanted to. They don't, though. If anything, a WUWA competitor from Hoyo will probably pop up in a few years anyways. Like, they work on like 4 or 5 different games right now. Genshin animations are dry? Yeah, because they, oh my god. They have to force themselves to make animations as quick as possible to not lose too much time. Like, how do you not understand this? Animations in Genshin don't do time stop. If they didn't have that bullshit restriction, they'd be able to make animations significantly better. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, secret name. Like, Genshin doesn't even try to make itself a combat game. It's a team game with elemental reactions, and they focus much more on world building and story than like having some super in-depth combat. I feel like you guys are giving so many excuses. I mean, no. You're just not looking at things for how they are. This is like nitpicking something from Wuwa, which it obviously isn't good in, and then talking about how much better Genshin is, which you could do for Wuwa's basically regions, its story, like the actual game itself outside of combat. There are many arguments for Genshin being better than this one. But like, I don't talk about that. Most people don't talk about that because it's unfair to compare in the first place, in my opinion at least. This game is much more combat focused, so it gets more glaze for its combat. Even if we talk about endgame difficulty, I'm pretty sure Stygian is easier than Double Pawn's Matrix, at least just for the currency rewards. And like, we can also talk about 4 stars, 4-star weapons and 4-star characters. Like, Genshin has got both HSR and Wuwa beat in that market by a lot. Genshin and Wuwa are similar. The only similarity is that they are open world games. Their combat systems are completely different. The design philosophy behind characters is completely different.
Huh? I heard something.
Story and world building is completely different. Graphics is completely different. Like, they're just both open world gachas. Yeah, but like, once again, Tactician, do you not realize how nitpicky you're being? Like, we all agree. We've talked about this like 5 times already. The exploration sucks. Like, we can all agree on that. But now you're nitpicking combat when Wuwa and Genshin have completely different combat philosophies with the design behind it. Like, how do you not get that? They aren't the same. Not even close. A little off topic. What are your thoughts on Enfield? Have you played it? Yeah, I did. But I just didn't fuck with it mainly because of the factory system. And also, I didn't really fuck with the combat too much either. So, I'm also playing a lot of other gacha games currently, and I plan on permanently playing Silver Palace in the future. So it just didn't feel like a game I wanted to start investing a lot of time into. People in your chat defend Genshin a lot. I mean, maybe. I really don't see it. In fact, my chat probably slanders Genshin an absolute fuck ton. The reality is, Genshin unironically has more content than HSR and WUA probably combined currently. And that's why Genshin is probably getting glazed. Like, they have this entire Nod Cry thing going on. Better story, obviously. HSR is going through a filler patch. They got Millie Astra, which now allows them to do literal PvP and fucking... So, like, the bias for Genshin is obviously going to be there right now. It's kind of crazy to say, but Genshin is doing the hottest out of probably the mainstream gachas in terms of content and, like, shit for the player right now. Silver Palace doesn't feel like a gacha game, combat-wise. It plays it plays like fucking Kratos and God of War. The camera is the same. Combat is also basically just as slow. There isn't like an insane amount of optimization you can really make. It felt weird because it just didn't feel like a gacha. Which is why I usually say when people ask me about Silver Palace, it feels like they just forced gacha into a solo player game. Is it good content though? Debatable. I mean, WUA has a racing event where you race nothing for 15 minutes. They have hollows, a boss every patch. This event, which isn't even really an event, you just get pulls for progress on Lahai Roy. Peaks of Prestige is basically the only real event, and that's it. There is nothing else content-wise. This isn't even really an event. You just click something and you get Asterite. Like, unironically, HSR has better events than WUA right now. Do you know how insane that is? And I still think Genshin has better content than HSR currently, probably. HSR has the new combat event where you run like sustains and you fight enemies with certain buffs. And then they also have the little one. I forgot what it's called. The one with like bubbles and shit. HSR having a better combat event than WUA is insane. I mean, low key, HSR has been stepping it up since Currency Wars a bit. When it comes to their combat stuff, at least. WUA dropped a whole new region. It ain't about events. Yeah, and that region isn't going anywhere. Most people don't even do 100% exploration on a region when it drops. What is this argument? HSR 4.0 is in literally like 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks. Are we then going to say if 4.0 is fucking dry as shit? Yeah, but, you know, it's a new region. You got exploration to do on HSR. So that automatically makes it better than the other. Like, what? Oh, hell no. What is this reasoning? Like, why are we using mint picking a region as content? Do you think it's predatory they ran Sunday during 3.4 with Phenon and then Cyrene? Well, no. Because they hadn't even tested Cyrene at that point. Like, they probably didn't come to a solid idea of what they wanted to do with Cyrene's kit until probably like late 3.5, 3.6. And then after that, they still had issues adjusting her kit in beta. And even then, like, if you actually look at the numbers, right? Cyrene just ain't worth it for Phenon. She is genuinely whale levels. Okay, not whale, but high levels of investment is when you finally decide to replace Sunday with Cyrene. It's better to go to his E2. It's better to get his Lycone. It's better to get Ceridra. And it's better to get Ceridra E1. Because keep in mind, this is with Seri. If you run a Phenon with Cyrene, but no Seri, there actually isn't even really much of a jump from Sunday. Like, you kind of need to have both to really make it shine. True, true. But to be honest, like, you can make the same argument with Lene. You know what I'm saying? Tactician. You can make the same argument at Wuwa with Lene because of how much stronger she is than some of these other sub DPSs. Like, for example, Yuno's rerunning right now. Lene is basically equally as strong as Yuno if you combine her with Mornai on Augusta team. And then Lene is better than Zeshi for Lada. Lene is better than, well, anyone else for probably Jinshi. She's best in slot for a absolute fuck ton of main DPSs. Same with Galbrena as well. Like, Lene is kind of the same thing. Yes, I played Enfield. I'm not continuing to play with it. It wasn't my favorite. Cyrene is for Cassie only? No. There's no point in me trying to explain this right now. It'd take way too long. Alright, guys. I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks for 110 people watching me yap. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.